Want to build a great tasting sandwich? Have a Vlasic.
That's the best tasting pickle I ever heard.
Serve crunchy, delicious Vlasic pickles.
Foil brings relief to summer's little hurts with pain-fighting benzocaine. Quickly soothes sunburn, minor burns, cuts, and scratches. Foil by Blistex. Production of Intermedia Entertainment Company and Think of It Productions, in association with Metro Media Producers Corporation and MGM UA Television.
Do physical problems prevent you from getting the rest you need? Then stop suffering and start running to ComforRest adjustable beds. For years now, doctors have recommended adjustable beds for back, respiratory, and circulatory disorders. By pressing this button, your bed will automatically adjust to the position best suited for you. ComforRest adjustable beds, located in the Maplewood East Shopping Center just south of 694 and White Bear Avenue. Or call us now at 770-9200.
The following is a rebroadcast of the 10 p.m. edition of News 11. From the Twin Cities Action Center, News 11, your new choice for news, with Paul Majors, Diana Pierce, Tom Ryther on sports, and meteorologist Paul Douglas.
Good evening. Topping tonight's News 11, a light plane crash takes 4 lives.
The disastrous plane ride claimed the life of the female pilot and 3 male passengers.
The single-engine plane went down shortly after takeoff in Little Falls. The victims have not been identified, but all are believed to be from out of state. Susan Weesey reports.
From Sky 11, you could see where the single-engine plane went down this afternoon. 600 feet south of the grass runway was what remained of the aircraft, a Grumman Tiger. Another pilot who was in the air at the time and approaching the same runway said he could see the plane was in trouble moments after takeoff. According to Kurt Logan, the plane began to climb, but then went into a stall.
But I couldn't tell if she was going up or down. But I knew she wasn't gaining any altitude. And the next thing I saw was a ball of orange flame that rolled very, very high and very, very fast, followed by just black smoke, and the airplane just disintegrated on impact.
Kurt's wife, Kathy, also saw the crash, as did family, friends, and relatives of the 4 people inside the plane. They'd all come to the airport for an afternoon of fun, a joyride that ended in disaster.
The people who were in the airplane had brought their family with them, and so there were about seven or more family members that were outside who saw it happen when it went down.
What was their reaction?
Some of them seemed to remain pretty calm. One guy, the one brother I know, he went running down the runway. He just ran right out there. And another guy went running out there to the scene of it, and one of the women was really hysterical.
Morrison County authorities have cordoned off the area and have not released the names of those who died.
We do not have positive identification yet, simply because the autopsies were not performed. All 4 parties were burned, were charred. The plane was completely destroyed. There's nothing left of it at all.
The FAA and safety experts will be on the scene tomorrow to begin sifting through this debris. It's then they'll try to find out if pilot error or engine malfunction caused this tragedy. Susan Weesey, News 11, near Little Falls.
The fate of Ramsey County Judge John Kirby is now in the hands of the Minnesota Supreme Court. The Minnesota Board of Judicial Standards wants Judge Kirby removed from the bench and today brought its case to the High Court. Attorney Theodore Collins says Kirby's conduct has been inappropriate for a judge.
There is no question in this case, no question whatsoever, because 12 witnesses testified to it, and Judge Stone found it to be the fact, and Judge Kirby admitted it the fact, although not as fulsomely as Judge Stone found, that Judge Kirby conducted judicial business in this state while he was under the influence, while he had been drinking.
Collins claims that Kirby has been intoxicated on more than one occasion, that he's been discourteous to female attorneys, and that in the municipal judge's courtroom, proceedings don't run on time.
There's no evidence that anybody ever complained about the tardiness, that anyone ever suffered anything from it other than perhaps the normal annoyance or inconvenience of waiting. I think Judge Kirby is probably the only judge in the history of Anglo-Saxon jurisprudence who ever had to face a charge of tardiness, that there is no evidence that he didn't perform his judicial duties with dispatch.
The court must now decide whether any of Kirby's alleged actions are grounds for dismissal or whether he should be disciplined. A decision is not expected for several weeks.
The Scott County Attorney's Office is under fire tonight for its handling of the Jordan sex abuse investigation. Scott County Sheriff's Deputy Don Buchan and his wife were back in court today, accused of 22 counts each of molesting children. Today, Buchan's attorney accused the County Attorney's Office of misconduct for having a videotape destroyed. The attorney, Don Nichols, says the videotape was not liked by the County Attorney's Office, so they decided to record right over it. Nichols claims the tape would have benefited his client's defense. But prosecutor Gail Tucker said it was virtually worthless, that this is something that's been hyped up for emotional impact. Meanwhile, the Scott County Board of Commissioners heard complaints today from the former mayor of Jordan and several others who don't like the way the investigation has been handled and the way children of suspects have been placed in foster homes. A 26-year-old St. Paul woman accused of suffocating her baby apparently made a full confession to police after she was read her rights. A copy of the complaint against Doris Eyre contains the confession. In the complaint, she told police she pinched off her 8-month-old daughter's nose with one hand and closed the baby's mouth with the other until the baby stopped breathing. The complaint also states that Doris Eyre's husband threatened to leave her and that the only way she could control her husband was through the 8-month-old child. Eyre is being held on first-degree murder charges. Her bail has been set at $250,000.
The train that nobody wants is back in Minnesota tonight. 21 cars worth of contaminated soil has been sitting in a Chicago rail yard for weeks. Today, crews at Bell Lumber and Pole in New Brighton unloaded 7 of the cars that were sent back to Minnesota because the state of Illinois didn't want to handle decontaminated soil. The soil is contaminated with a preservative used to treat telephone and electrical poles. Bell Lumber has spent $250,000 trying to get rid of the soil and will spend another $1 million before the dirt is fully decontaminated.
Negotiators for Ford and the United Auto Workers say things are going well so far. They just wrapped up a full day of talks on a new contract that covers Ford workers nationwide. Locally, workers at the Ford plant in St. Paul say the main issue in the negotiations is job security. Production levels at the plant are at the same level as 1978, but with increased automation, there are 500 fewer employees. And even though both sides are optimistic, local union leaders aren't so sure.
I think there probably will be a strike. I don't know if it'll be a long one, but I'm sure there will be some kind of a strike.
So while Ford workers across the nation continue to work, their future sits in the hands of negotiators who will meet again tomorrow in Detroit. The latest car sales may have added more fuel to the talks. Car makers had their best July performance in 6 years. 26% more cars moved off the lots compared to the same time last year. And one analyst says dealers are selling cars just as fast as they can be made.
The Ford plant in St. Paul will start making compact Ranger trucks this spring. So with rising sales figures in mind, Midwest Ford dealers are getting a commercial campaign ready. As Janet Mason reports, some unusual props had to be brought in for the occasion.
This looks like a scene from a World War II movie.
Lots more energy, though. Everybody more excited about it.
It's actually a film crew on location at the South St. Paul Airport. These filmmakers are shooting a TV commercial for the Northland Ford dealers. The message is the Ford Ranger trucks are waging a war against the Japanese imports. So director Charlie Dirks and the Buzz Dolan advertising agency have created a World War II setting, complete with old warplanes, headgear, and flight suits for the flying aces. Many of the vintage props were not easy to find.
The biggest problem was maintaining the World War II motif, and it's hard to find goggles and helmets and shirts and boots and all that stuff. It doesn't exist much here. It doesn't exist much anywhere, and we had to go all over the country to find the props.
Dirks has been a director for the past year and a half. He's already won 1 Clio Award, the advertising industry's equivalent of an Emmy. But the Clio is not his goal with this commercial.
This is a let's have fun spot. You know, you can hard sell and soft sell, and you know, this is a let's have fun sell.
You're not expecting to win a Clio then?
No, this I'll be glad to get it all shot and get done before midnight.
The work on this commercial is far from over. The filmmakers still have to edit the film and add some music and narration. And we can see this commercial on TV this fall. Janet Mason, News 11, South St. Paul.
Coming up, President Reagan says he won't raise taxes.
But the man after his job calls that claim a big fish story. Paul?
Well, Diana, it may shower on the big Torchlight Parade tomorrow evening. We'll have the latest on the anemic summer of '84 coming up. Randy?
The Twins do it again against Oakland tonight at the Metrodome. We'll have highlights, and we'll meet a former 1952 Minnesota Summer Olympian. Diana?
And later on News 11 Extra, we'll take you into the wilds of the Northland, a place where the fish in the wilderness are luring people into roughing it. That story and more still to come.
This is a nice home, but it does have a few problems. Ants, roaches, and other unwanted bugs. You know, that's not unusual. Any home can get bugs, especially this time of the year. If you have a pest problem at your home, give Bradley Exterminating a call. If we listed the fine homes just like yours that we've serviced, you'd be amazed. Give us a chance to amaze you. That's Bradley Exterminating. In the Twin Cities area, call 861-4161.
From Towsley Discount Sports Center, Hondas for half price. Unbelievable, never before half price. But hurry into Towsley for the big 400. Originally $19.95, now only $9.95. That's half price. Big 500, originally $29.85, now only $14.95. That's half price. Price is clearly marked on all cycles. On the big GL Interstate, save $1,200, now only $25.95. Other Hondas, similar savings. Bank financing and cheap insurance. These half-price Hondas, while they last, hurry to Towsley.
President Reagan said tonight that taxpayers won't see their bills go up next year if he is reelected. Mr. Reagan made that comment tonight during a nationally televised news conference. His Democratic opponent, Walter Mondale, has said that no matter who is elected, taxes will have to be raised. Mr. Reagan was asked if he could flatly deny any such plans.
Yes, I have no plans for a tax increase. I believe it would be counterproductive with regard to the present recovery or expansion. Indeed, I believe that the tax cut that we had is largely responsible for the recovery that we're having.
Mr. Reagan's news conference was watched carefully by Mondale, who's on a fishing trip in northern Minnesota. Tonight, he said Mr. Reagan's claim that he won't raise taxes is a fish story. Meanwhile, Mondale's running mate, Geraldine Ferraro, spent a triumphant day on Capitol Hill, her first day back in the House since she won the Democratic nomination for vice president. She got a standing ovation when she entered the chambers, and 35 of her colleagues took the floor to praise her. Among them, Minnesota's Congressman James Oberstar.
On tonight's Datelines, the death toll climbs in Romeoville, Illinois. The Union Oil refinery explosion and fire that shattered the Illinois community has taken 14 lives, and 3 people are still missing. 23 others were injured. Sources say a mechanical failure may have been the cause. In San Ysidro, California, a work crew has started taking down the McDonald's restaurant. The company has decided to go along with the community's request to close the McDonald's because of last week's sniper tragedy that left 23 people dead. And the widow of the gunman today said she's planning to sell the story because she needs the money. In New York, the investigation continues into yesterday's Amtrak crash that killed 1 person. Investigators say they don't know yet whether human error caused the head-on crash, but they do say there's no evidence of signal failure. And in New York City, former Miss America Vanessa Williams told interviewers on NBC's Today Show she now realizes she made a mistake. Williams said she was wrong to have posed for the nude pictures that led to her abdication yesterday, and says that now there's nowhere to go but up.
Well, Paul Douglas is joining us, and I think we have excellent timing out here because it's just begun to pour.
It has.
Murphy's Law in action. It does look a little like rain out there in the backyard this evening. The sky in the backyard has sprung a giant-sized leak. And I guess the 11-cent question is, what will it be doing tomorrow evening for the big Torchlight Parade? And if anything, err on the side of safety and prudence and take along your favorite bumbershoot for the parade tomorrow evening. In fact, you may want to take your favorite umbrella for a walk around the block tomorrow morning for work. A few showers in the forecast. But no blazing heat anywhere in sight. The anemic summer of '84 just has a lot of meteorologists baffled. We should be talking about temperatures up near 100. But as it turns out, this summer's air conditioning bill may bring tears to your eyes. Tears of joy. It's been unusually cool. And that's no bulletin. Compared to last year, Last year was one of the hottest summers on record. Back in June, we had 1 day with temperatures above 90, but in July, we had 12 days. In August, we had 11 days, and even in September, we had 1 day with temperatures above the 90-degree mark. Now, that was last year. A total of 25 days above 90. This year, well, the numbers speak for themselves. We've had 4 whopping days with temperatures above the 90-degree mark. Only 92 has been our high. What will August and September bring? Only time will tell. Certainly, we don't see any blazing heat for the next couple of days, but much of the west and south is hot and dry. A drought gripping much of Texas, portions of Montana, even western North Dakota, and much of California right now, on the verge of imposing some water restrictions because of not enough rain. Meanwhile, much of the east is much too wet. We're just right. Some good news for farmers and gardeners. More good news. You will have a chance to play with your favorite bumbershoot, your favorite umbrella on the way to work or school tomorrow morning. It looks like rain. Earlier today in the backyard, before the showers arrived, we had enough sun for a high of 82 after a low of 67 degrees. Just a trace of rain so far, but that is about to change. Sunset tomorrow evening, 8:49. In the backyard now, surprise, cloudy, a shower, 76, a southeast wind at 8 miles an hour. The dew point 58 and creeping upward. 54% is the humidity and the pressure 30-25. And it's currently beginning to fall. Now, this is what the radar looked like as of 7:50 this evening. Showers lurking to the west of St. Cloud, out towards Wilmer and Hutchinson and Alexandria. As the evening went on, those showers began drifting towards the east. And for a time, it looked like the showers were going to dissipate. But over the past 30 to 45 minutes, the showers have redeveloped right over Hennepin County. There could even be a grumble of thunder and a flash of lightning outside your window over the next 30 minutes. All this wet weather developing on the boundary between hot air to the south and unusually cool air just to our north. 100 today in Portland, Oregon, 91 in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Unfortunately, some of this cool, dry air is now trying to sag southward. It has our atmosphere irritable, and it looks like showers are going to continue off and on right through tomorrow. The reason, an Alberta clipper, a pocket of cold air in the upper atmosphere over Alberta. It's racing southeastward. It's irritating this frontal system just to our south. This high-pressure system isn't doing anything, and as a result, we're forecasting lots of shower activity for at least the next 24 hours before high pressure finally clears this out for Friday and Saturday. Confused? Well, me too. We'll have the complete 11 outlook coming up in just 2 minutes. Summer is aging gracefully in the upper Midwest, and the sun's rays are rather potent now. The oceans are warming up too, and when ocean water temperatures reach 86 degrees Fahrenheit and when the winds become calm, sometimes gangs of thunderstorms can mutate into tropical storms and hurricanes. And we want to check the satellite and show you an area of disturbed weather 350 miles east of Barbados, 2,200 miles east-southeast of Miami. If winds increase by another 5 miles an hour, we will have Tropical Storm Arthur, the first of the season in the Atlantic. Here's the 11 outlook for tonight. Patchy clouds, a few showers, 61 to 66. And then tomorrow, a rather gray day, more clouds than sun, a good chance of showers. Take an umbrella to the parade, a high near 80. The 11 outlook looks promising, though. A wet start Thursday, giving way to partly cloudy skies. Only 75 with lows in the 50s Thursday night, warming back up to 84 Saturday with lots of sunshine. It's time for me to shut up and say goodnight. Hope you have a nice day tomorrow. Take one of these to work with you. Paul and Diana?
That is the key weather word for tomorrow for the kids at home, right?
That's right.
Umbrella.
Umbrella.
Can you say that?
Practice that.
All righty. Thanks, Paul.
Good night.
Well, on tonight's child find, an abduction that has torn a Bronx, New York family apart. It's been nearly a year since 12-year-old Kirk Quinton disappeared from his Bronx neighborhood, and there are still no solid leads in the case. His mother thinks a stranger, a man who hired Kirk to pass out pamphlets, is responsible, but there are still no clues as to the man's whereabouts. If you've seen Kirk or know anything about him, please call Contact 11 at 341-8080.
Coming up, a weathered old bridge sees its last day of use.
And balloons color the skies as part of the Aquatennial. Those stories just ahead.
Those special moments that can bring us all together, make us smile, make us and country together in the moments that we share. Share on TV 11. Let's all be there.
Commuters who usually depend on the St. Paul High Bridge will have to choose a new route. The bridge will be closed tomorrow morning at 5:30, and that will foul things up for the 15,000 people who use it each day. The bridge was built in 1889, and time has taken quite a toll. Engineers say the bridge is so corroded it could collapse. So here's a tip for travelers wondering what route to take. From now on, most people will find the Wabasha Street Bridge will be most convenient for making their way across the mighty Mississippi.
The Minneapolis Aquatennial took a colorful turn tonight. 11 hot air balloons took off from the Anoka County Airport tonight to grace the skies in a balloon race. For a change, the weather turned out to be just right for floating across the skies at the speed of air. It was such a gorgeous display that every balloonist really came out a winner in this race. But for the record, the Esteban-sponsored racer took top honors. It was also a high-flying day for senior citizens. The senior royalty for the Aquatennial was crowned after a year of waiting and paring down the number of contenders to 10. This year's winners, Marge Mapson and Dick Schneider, who both happen to be from Anoka. Tomorrow night is another big day for the Aquatennial and its royalty, with the Torchlight Parade, of course, set for tomorrow night.
Coming up, a big night for the Twins at the Metrodome.
And we'll look back at a Minnesotan who set his sights on the 1952 Summer Olympic Games. Randy Shaver is next with sports.
What happens when a handsome young cooking student sets up house with two beautiful young women?
Cindy, you know, in my book, you're a perfect 10 on the Richter scale. And so we'll need to talk about separating them. That is, removing the yolk from the sweater.
Be there for Three's Company, weekday afternoons on Channel 11.
Tell him. Janet says.
As a Twins fan, I think they can beat anybody in their division, anybody in their league for that matter. But in spite of that, I wish they could close out the season with the Oakland A's at home forever.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? Boy, last night they bombed them 14-4. I was wondering if they'd have anything left for tonight, but boy, I tell you, they jumped all over Oakland early, scoring 5 runs in the first couple of innings. The final tonight from the Metrodome, the Twins holding on to a 6-4 win over the Oakland A's as we take a look at the scoreboard. There's the line score. Twins with 8 hits. Pete Filson gets the win. He's now 5-2. Highlights, 1-0 Oakland first inning. Ken Herbeck with a high-bouncing infield single. A run scores to tie the game at 1 apiece. It was 2-1 Twins in the second when Kirby Puckett makes a great effort, but unfortunately drops the ball off Mike Heath's hit. It was ruled a double run score to tie the game at 2. Gary Gaetti singled in a run in the bottom of the second inning to put the Twins back on top 3-2. Bernansky scores from second. Ken Herbeck did what only Oakland A's Dave Kingman has done. He hit the Metrodome roof tonight, some 200 feet high on a foul ball. The ball did come down. Remember, Kingman's didn't come down. Game-winning hit turned out to be the third inning. Tim Tuffle with a right field double. Tom Bernansky scores. That made the game 5-2 Twins. They go on to win tonight 6-4. That's 2 in a row over the Oakland A's. Scores now. Seattle is leading California 2-0 in the fourth. The Twins still a game back right now. Boston gave us some help. They beat the White Sox 3-2. Other scores: Toronto losing to Kansas City, Texas over Baltimore. The Yankees lost in 11, and Detroit over Cleveland. National League, Chicago losing to Philadelphia. Pittsburgh in 11 over Montreal, 6 in the 11th inning. The Mets winning tonight. Cincinnati leading San Diego. 2 other scores out on the coast. Game tied in Los Angeles, and San Francisco leads Houston. Turning to football, Terry Bradshaw retired today. Bradshaw played 14 years with the Pittsburgh Steelers, winning 4 Super Bowls. Vikings expect 6th-round draft choice Dwight Collins in camp tomorrow. Wide receiver has stayed away because of his wife's difficult pregnancy. When was the last time you saw Bud Grant do sit-ups with his team? Well, Les Steckel did it with his team today. He really likes to get involved. It makes him feel part of the team. Lineup change to report on. Marty McDowell has been moved from wide receiver to defensive safety. McDowell was a 2nd-round draft choice in 1981, and he says he's going to have to do some adjustments.
The hardest adjustment is going to be feeling comfortable at the position and taking chances on, different plays. And I'm starting to come around that now.
Have you ever played that position before?
Yes, I played it in high school, but that was a long time ago.
What do I know? Steckel was doing push-ups, not sit-ups. Well, the Olympics are 3 days away now and counting, and our Tom Ryther is in Los Angeles. Tonight, Tom reports on an unusual Olympic artist.
As you can well imagine, there are thousands of people trying to earn their niche here at the Olympics in Los Angeles. One of them is Ernie Barnes. Now, he came from the battles of professional football to the Olympics as an artist. You might say that he brushed his way onto the scene. The Olympics is a tapestry of color and pageantry and people. It is not just an athletic event. It's a gathering of the world. And the color and the flavor must be captured in print, radio, television, and film. And we can add to that canvas. Ernie Barnes is a former professional football player who played with the San Diego Chargers and Denver Broncos. He has turned from controlled violence on the field to controlled strokes of his brush to capture the 23rd Olympiad and its color and its flavor. He is the official 1984 Olympic artist.
Had I not been an athlete, I probably would not be sitting here as the official artist, because I gained a lot of perspectives as a result of my experience on the field. The experiences I've had as an athlete are all a part of what I'm sketching, of what I'm painting. And if I'm explaining to you through paint what it's like for a kid to reach up and dunk a basketball, then I'm going to do so differently. So consequently, the athletic experience has become a part of the art experience, because I know now that when you're running or when you're reaching up, that has to be communicated in order for you to know what it was like for me.
An interesting guy, Ernie Barnes, the official artist of the 1984 Olympics. Well, tomorrow night at 10 o'clock, we're going to take you shopping for souvenirs. This is Tom Ryther reporting from the Olympics in Los Angeles for News 11.
All right, very good. Tonight, part 3 of our 10-part series on former Minnesota Summer Olympians. We take you back to the year 1952 games held in Helsinki, Finland. He's 70 years old, but shoots better than most people 50 years younger. He's Bob Sandiger, who came to this very rifle range near Blaine countless times in the early 50s to train for the Olympic Games. At that time, he was 39 years old, and his shooting credentials were impressive. He was an All-American on the University of Minnesota shooting team in 1936 and 37. And under the watchful eye of Coach Emmett Swanson, he made it here to the 1952 Olympic Games in Helsinki, Finland, the first year the Russians appeared.
We were very curious to know what they could do in the shooting events. We'd heard rumors that they'd been training with the Swiss, who were, of course, really top shooters. I don't know if that was true, but they came fully prepared and ready to win.
Bob's event was 300-meter rifle shooting. He ended up placing 6th.
For us at that time, a score of 1,100 was sort of par, and I think I reached 1104. And so I was happy I hadn't caved in and flopped. That was the big relief, that I hadn't made a fool of myself.
Bob not only shoots guns, but collects them. His basement is filled with old rifles, each one with a memory all its own. Bob Sandiger, 1952 Minnesota Olympic hero. Dave Tennis leads the state pro-am state amateur golf tournament by 3 strokes final round tomorrow.
All right, Randy, thank you. Coming up next, you're going to love this. We're sending Paul Douglas way up north.
That's right, way, 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 way up north for a fisher and drawing card for folks all over Minnesota and elsewhere. We'll tell you why when we come back.
Some people just don't get the message. So if you're on active duty or retired military, listen up. If your dependents are not enrolled in DEERS, the Defense Enrollment Eligibility Reporting System, get them enrolled today. Beginning this summer and fall, your dependents must be enrolled in DEERS to receive military health care services, including Champus benefits. So enroll now. Contact any military personnel office for further information or call 1-800-538-9552. In California, 1-800-334-4162.
Tonight on News 11 Extra, we begin our search for the Great White Northern. We sent Paul Douglas in search of the fishy treasure, and he went way up north to find it, to a secluded spot that's very attractive to many Minnesota fishermen. Tonight, the first of his 4-part report.
Fishing, along with baseball, check writing, and traffic jams, it has to be one of the great American pastimes. Minnesota boasts of some of the finest fishing on earth. Serious fishermen may travel all the way to the boundary waters in their quest for a trophy. But just what on earth would cause a man or a woman to fly due north to a desolate fishing hole near the Arctic Circle, a place with no roads, no electricity, And no fast food? And can a TV meteorologist catch really big fish? I was, in all honesty, apprehensive as I headed for Reindeer Lake, Canada. Our Hawker Siddeley turboprop flew north 1,000 miles. And much to my horror, we landed on this 1-mile-long dirt landing strip on an island, smack dab in the middle of Reindeer Lake, Saskatchewan. I almost expected to see snow flurries, 5-pound mosquitoes, and a few curious Eskimo milling about, but our plane was met by Indians, Chippewa and Cree, professional guides who whisked us off by boat to the Arctic Lodge, a fishing mecca, a summer camp for grown-ups, perched near the top of the world. In this part of Canada, there are no cars, no roads, no freeways. The only way to get from point A to point B is by boat. The price of gasoline? Only $4 a gallon. This part of Canada has been described as the last frontier. The nearest town is 50 miles away. The closest radio station, 250 miles. No phones, no television, no police. It was as if we had traveled backwards in time to a tiny 19th century fishing camp. Reindeer Lake is 210 miles long and 40 miles wide, the 22nd largest lake in the world. If this lake was in Minnesota, it would stretch from Minneapolis to International Falls. Minnesota may be the land of 10,000 lakes, but Reindeer is the lake of 5,000 islands. And as a result, Reindeer Lake has more coastline than any other lake in the world. A rocky, scrubby coastline just littered with monster fish. Fred Lockhart is the owner of the Arctic Lodge.
I have seen 38-pound northern pike come in, and other lake trout running in the neighborhood 20 to 45 pounds.
What makes Reindeer Lake so special?
I think the consistency of the catching of the fish. I mean, it's constant, hour after hour. And big fish. Big ones.
Tomorrow we'll begin to explore this land of the midnight sun. You are cordially invited to come along as we set out in search of the Great White Northern. Paul Douglas, News 11.
Now, you promised us next year, a bunch of us from around here, we're all going to head up there, right?
You bet.
I look forward to that.
They're waiting for us. I have enough fish stories to last me a lifetime already, though. It was the Super Bowl of fishing.
Great.
More on that tomorrow. On a weather note, I-70 in Colorado had to be shut down this evening because of a mudslide. Weather-related, nothing quite that bad for us. Just a few showers through tomorrow, highs in the upper 70s. Randy?
If you want to go fishing tomorrow, the best time to go is between 10 and 3, according to our fish forecast graph.
And you don't have to go to Reindeer Lake. Might help. What do you think? I don't know. See you back here tomorrow at 5. I'll dummy up. Good night.
Good night.
From Towsley Discount Sports Center, Hondas for half price. Unbelievable, never before half price. But hurry into Towsley for the big 400. Originally $19.95, now only $9.95. That's half price. Big 500, originally $29.85, now only $14.95. That's half price. Price is clearly marked on all cycles. On the big GL Interstate, save $1,200, now only $25.95. Other Hondas, similar savings. Bank financing and cheap insurance. These half-price Hondas, while they last, hurry to Towsley.
Bacon, eggs, and News 11. Weekday mornings at 6:30 on Channel 11. Welcome to Playhouse Theater, featuring fabulous films from westerns to classics to all of Hollywood's best. Late nights on 11.
This is a nice home, but it does have a few problems. Ants, roaches, and other unwanted bugs. You know, that's not unusual. Any home can get bugs, especially this time of the year. If you have a pest problem at your home, give Bradley Exterminating a call. If we listed the fine homes just like yours that we've serviced, you'd be amazed. Give us a chance to amaze you. That's Bradley Exterminating. In the Twin Cities area, call 4161.
Hello, Water Bedroom Man here to announce my gigantic truckload sale.
The Water Bedroom has made truckload buys and will be passing the savings along to you.
The Richmond, regular price $4.89, now $3.79.
The Shiloh, price to sell as low as $1.79.
A select group of our highest quality oak water beds and bedroom furniture, all marked 20% off.
Don't miss out on this opportunity to save during our truckload of savings.
Why, Water Bedroom superstars for a gigantic truckload sale. Bloomington, Crystal, Roseville, and Findlay.
Friends, let's be honest with each other. Do you have problems cashing checks? Do banks and businesses treat you like a criminal instead of a customer? Well, come to Checkpoint. Checkpoint cashes all kinds of checks, even personal checks. Checkpoint also gives free money orders. So if you have a government check, insurance draft, paycheck, out-of-state check, two-party check, any hard-to-cash item, bring it to Checkpoint, we'll cash it. Remember, Checkpoint is open 24 hours a day. Checkpoint, 108 East Lake Street, Minneapolis.
The Minneapolis Planetarium is launching a new show. See All Systems Go, now at the Minneapolis Planetarium.